If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. I just wanted to take an opportunity to kind of talk Ravens fans off the ledge a little bit. I wrote a blog for WNST.net, which you can actually check out on the website, also your mobile device. And the title of my blog was Baltimore Ravens Defense Stake Even Without the Sizzle. And basically the premise of my blog was that it'll be okay, Ravens fans. I understand we lose the Defensive Player of the Year. A great presence on the defensive end. Even when he's not wreaking havoc, he is a guy that offenses have to plan for. Are we going to miss 14 sacks and 70 tackles from last year? Absolutely. But at the same time, I believe that the Baltimore Ravens defense is more about a system, a scheme, kind of a culture, so to speak, which the Baltimore Orioles don't have, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But it's something about the Baltimore Ravens defense. When guys throw on that Ravens jersey and they play that defensive side of the ball, I should say, they have an increased a mystique, so to speak. You look at all the guys that we lost over the years that we thought would be the sky is falling for the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, over the years we lost guys like Jamie Sharper, Peter Boulware, Chris McAllister, a couple other guys that, we never thought the Ravens defense would be the same after that. But the fact of the matter is the Baltimore Ravens defense has actually been in the top 5 every year since 2010, except for 4 seasons. And that's unheard of. That consistency in a league of parity such as the NFL is totally unheard of. I mean, out of, 12 years now, we've only been out of the top 5 4 times. And within that time frame, we've actually had 4 Defensive Players of the Year. Ray Lewis twice, Ed Reed, and Terrell Suggs. And I think Nada is a guy that could actually climb into that Defensive Player of the Year category. But time will tell. We use him a lot of different ways. We stand him up. We put him on the ground. Do a lot of different things. And as I've stated before, the culture that the Baltimore Ravens defense have is something that the Orioles need to desperately adopt. And one of the things that needs to actually turn around and get that happening is the fan support. Now, the Orioles are having, a better year than they've had in quite some time, and, we're all aware of that. But one of the things that, kind of takes away from the confidence of the Orioles and kind of, taints their culture, so to speak, is kind of the fan support. I mean, there's no reason that Oriole Park Academy Yard shouldn't be full more often. There are way too many games where, Yankees take over, Boston fans take over, Phillies fans take over, national fans take over, and I hear, working at the ballpark, as I stated before, for 10 seasons, I've heard a million Oriole fans come down crying, "Oh, every time the Yankees come to town, it's like Yankee South. Every time Fenway, it's Fenway South whenever Boston comes down." You want to stop it? Buy tickets. Go to the games. You know where Yankee fans get their tickets from, or where they buy them from? They buy them from Oriole fans. Red Sox, same thing. They buy their tickets from Orioles fans. That means that either you have tickets, you're selling them to the other teams, or you have tickets and you're not showing up. Either way, there needs to be more team support. And again, if you don't want Oriole Park to look like Yankee Stadium South, which, I understand because, Yankees pay, what, $25 grand a game in New York Stadium. So they want to come down here cheaper than, they don't want to take out a second mortgage just to come to a couple baseball games. I understand that. Red Sox, the same thing. Even though the Red Sox fans are by far the worst fans in all of baseball. Matter of fact, Red Sox fans are the worst people in all of baseball, in my, personal opinion. And, they even run their own championship players out of town. I mean, you look at Manny Ramirez, won some World Series when they ran him out. Pedro Martinez ran him out after a couple World Series. Ran Noble out before he even got a chance to win a World Series. And I'm going to place a bet and say Ortiz will probably be next. But I digress on the Red Sox fans for a minute. And back to the Orioles. I think we have a lot of good things going on. I know that you heard Nestor speaking a little bit earlier about Angelos and spending money on pitching. But, the lineup is looking pretty good. It's going to be some point where they got to spend some money on a pitching. I think it's actually going, to happen. So again, we got to support the Orioles a little bit more. Stop selling out your tickets to other teams' fans, things of that nature. And also, Nestor and I spoke a little bit before about the Wizards. And I think that Ted Leonis, the new owner of the Wizards and also the Capitals, is doing a really good job of changing the culture between the Wizards and also the Capitals. He's doing an excellent job. You see what he's been able to do with the Capitals over the last few years, and I think the Wizards are trying to turn that table as well. Picked up a lot of good players over the last few months. They beefed up their front court, picked up Emeka Okafor, Trevor Ariza, picked up a nice guy in the draft, Beatley, and they got some other players in tow as well. So I think that, the Orioles ownership needs to take a look at that and look at the other owners in this area and kind of beef up just the culture, even if you can't do anything on the field. Put some people in the front office or decision-making positions that care about not even winning at this point, just getting better at this point, not settling for last place, showing some kind of progression. And I think that is what can actually bring the Orioles back. Last thing that I want to talk about is earlier this week, and this is kind of a sports sortie, not really, kind of, sort of, but not really. Dan Ravel of CNBC is making a move to ESPN, and this week was his last week of CNBC. For a lot of you, like, who the hell is Dan Ravel? And I totally do understand. If you're not someone who's not into sports business, you probably wouldn't know who he is, but he's a great journalist, great reporter. And I just want to see how that transition is going to be for him to ESPN, to see if they try to, pigeonhole him a little bit, because he typically does get into stories that, the casual fan doesn't really get into. I mean, he talks about stuff like, A-Rod's coconut water deal and how many dollars per autograph swim cap Michael Phelps gets, things of that nature. So it's going to be interesting to see his transition from CNBC to ESPN. I think it's something that's worth taking a look at to see how that changes a little bit. I do thank you for your time. Again, you can check out my blog entries at WNST.net, and that's for your PC and your mobile device. And always check us out here on the airwaves. Also, you can check out the live feed on the website as well. And I hope to see you guys at Hooters on Monday night.
Good work. Great work. Terrence Nelson of Northwood, of Parkville, of Morgan. What do you want to say of you? Of Baltimore? You're supposed to say of Baltimore?
Everywhere.
Just Baltimore.
Everywhere Baltimore.
Everywhere Baltimore wants to be. So that's good, man. Worked at the ballpark for 10 years. You go to Raven games, or you go, or no? You didn't. I did. Anybody that works 81 baseball games, why don't you work 8 football games? I don't understand.
I can't give up my Sundays, man.
You give up every Sunday in the summer. You got the Sunday plan.
It's not football season.
You got the Monday plan, the Tuesday plan, the Wednesday plan.
It's not football. I gotta understand, for a 1 o'clock game, we would have to be there at 8 a.m. That means no football for me at all.
So you prefer to just stay home and watch football?
Absolutely.
Yeah, well,
I prefer to be at Hooters and eat wings. But
well, I mean, for me, that Red Zone channel is sort of changed my life a little bit. I mean, when the Ravens play Monday night games, now everybody hates it. Like the Harbaugh hates it, the players hate it, the organization hates it. But I love it personally because I go to every road game, right? So I'm on the road every week. When they're in Seattle, I'm in Seattle. When they're in Houston, I'm in Houston.
I got to join you guys in San Diego. I love San Diego.
No, Thanksgiving weekend, bring it out, man. We're leaving on Black Friday. We're coming back on Monday. It's gonna be a big weekend, and the city will be empty because it's Thanksgiving weekend out there. It's a homecoming thing. So, but I'll tell you, these Monday night games when they play at home now, like the kickoff this year, we play on Monday night at home. I get all day Sunday to watch the Red Zone channel. I am moving.
That's heaven right there.
I am moving, man. It's perfect for me. So I'm on. All right, Terrence Nelson, good job today. He is the 4th contestant today.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.